Hello, and welcome to a possible new blog format. I thought about doing some vlogs in the car for a while, and they may or may not be relevant, but see if you can see my arm moving here. This one seemed like a relevant location today for me to talk about something that I've just been hearing a lot about recently, which is artificial intelligence. And the reason why is artificial intelligence, essentially, it's computers, but they are machines. And we want to figure out how machines fit into our lives, what importance they have, how much freedom we want to give them when it comes to questions of morality, how we want them to be treated, how we want them to treat us, how we want them to interact with the world, like with the invention of a self-driving car. In my case, I get to make the decision, should I turn and hit one person or should I keep going and hit 10 people? I get to make that decision, and you have to program that into a car. So a lot of these questions of morality are coming up when we're talking about all these new things that are being invented over time. But then there are just the simple questions of, after movies like Terminator, what place does technology play in our future? How is it affecting how we live? Could it potentially be dangerous to us? Could it potentially, even if it's not our physical danger, we're not talking about, Terminators taking over the country, we're just talking about, or the world, we're just talking about, if is using Facebook too much making us more, having more attention deficit issues. And so these are all relevant questions. And the reason why I thought driving the car would be relevant, I'll get to in a minute. So, think about some of the computers you deal with in your everyday life. That could be a calculator for school, that could be your laptop, or that could be your phone. Now, most phones are going to have, 32, 64 gigabytes of memory. Good computers are going to have anywhere from 500 gigabytes, which is half a terabyte, of storage information, or 1 terabyte, or 2 terabytes, which is, there are computers that have more than 2 terabytes, but that's sort of the upper limit on stock computers when you're in reasonable price ranges. And so you compare, let's just talk about memory for a second, comparing it to humans. Granted, yes, processing speed should double every 2.5 years or something like that. And that was a metric that was invented in the 1950s or sometimes around there. Don't quote me right now. I'm in a car and I don't have access to the internet or any cheat sheets or anything, so I'm just going off of memory. So anyways, the point being, human memory has been estimated. The most popular consensus is right around 1 to 2 terabytes worth of memory, and there are upper limits of putting us in the petabytes, which is thousands of terabytes, and that, I think that should be one of the first things we think about. First of all, the way we use our memory is different than how a computer may use our memory. Granted, you could use it any way you want. You could save tons of Google documents and have all that, stored knowledge. But most of us, if we're using that up, it's to remember photographs and videos. And that brings me to the point of specialization in computers. Humans are also specialized, to be fair, from a mechanic perspective, but a lot of the computers we have fill in the specializations that we are not good at. So think about your favorite childhood memories of Christmas or a birthday or something like that. You may have some general impressions of maybe a face or two. You might be able to remember how you felt, some smells or something like that, what you got, but the amount of detail that you're going to remember from that is not going to be as clear as an HD video on your computer. If you can vaguely remember a face from when you were 6 years old, if you can remember even the color of a shirt, let alone the color of the paint on the walls or where the bulbs were placed on your Christmas tree, that's an insane amount of memory that most of us just don't have, and that's talking about the specialization of computers. It doesn't necessarily mean that that computer is smarter than you. So taking a step back to an even more simple computer, calculators. If you could tell me right now what 2,153 times 374.2 is, I would be astonished. Just in seconds, the amount of time it takes you to put into a calculator, that's incredible. But a calculator can't remember history. It can't philosophize, something like that. It can't give into philosophy. It can't have philosophical thought. And that talks about the specializations of humans versus the computers we interact with. Now, for the most part, no computer does anything that we don't program it to do. I say for the most part because people are starting to program computers that can learn by themselves, therefore introducing no new programming to their system. I believe it was Google was working on a new AI recently. That it was just playing games against people, but people were saying, oh, it's kind of worrisome because they programmed it in a way that it's learning, and it learns over time, and eventually it learned that it could win these games if once it was in sort of a bad situation and it was about to lose, it could start adopting more aggressive strategies. So if it already knows it's going to lose, it can take a big risk and say, well, I'm definitely going to lose now, but at least there's some chance of a payoff. And they're saying this aggressive strategy, that's a Terminator type thing. You're afraid of it having this aggression and, stepping up and attacking people because it's learned an aggressive trait. And I suppose that's a concern. And this is something I always talk about. You could have hundreds of years of scientists who are totally trustable, and all it takes is one mad scientist. The Germans in World War II, the things they did, they were great scientists in terms of they did impressive things, but a lot of times the methods they used to learn these things, or just the things they were trying to develop themselves, were extremely unethical, and today we would look down on it very, very seriously. And so just because our current American science infrastructure has laws in place and the scientists are ethical does not mean we couldn't see in 200 years someone intentionally design a Terminator type robot. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying that's actually a possibility. Not that I necessarily think it's going to happen, but it could. But my point is, in the world we live in with ethical scientists, or people who I think are ethical, I'm sorry about this glare right now, by the way. People who I think are ethical, we have laws in place. So for instance, we can, the Human Genome Project is done. We could fix people and make them, blonde hair, blue-eyed, more athletic, whatever. We could, more intelligent. We could twist that and actually build people, but that's outlawed. The only thing we're really allowed to do, genetically speaking, is we're allowed to, if someone has like Huntington's disease or something like that, we're allowed to fix that. But it has to be something very serious, and it has to be disease, which that's kind of a gray area in itself. What do you consider disease? What do you not consider a disease? But keeping going along that front there, I talked about the specialization. We should get back to that. Ultimately, scientists like myself, the thing we like to look forward to is a day where, computers are still advancing, but what we expect from them is merely to fill in the areas that we're not good at. We're not good at multiplying, I can't tell you the exact number, I told you 2,364, times 376.2. If I got that right, that's incredible. Probably not. I think it was 0.4 anyways. Anyways, it fills in for the parts that you aren't great at. And that's the best thing. So what are humans actually good at? Well, humans are really good at dealing with emotions. Hi, seagulls. Emotions of human beings, reading the emotions of animals if they're going to attack, things like that. We're really good at estimating. One thing that's really hard for people to build robots to do right now is like if you were to design a robot to hit a pitch in baseball or in cricket or something like that, or shoot a basketball where it has to deal with a lot of different variables. Okay, I know exactly where I am in the court now. I have to adapt to someone guarding me. I have to be able to do this and that, and then judge the trajectory close enough to actually make it. nearly impossible. Trying to say, okay, I'm watching the pitcher. First of all, if you've ever seen a video on how I played baseball, so I'm partial. Watch a video on how difficult reading a baseball is. It's incredibly difficult. You have these balls coming at you at like 80, 90 miles per hour, and you have to basically start swinging before the pitches come through. You have to watch the arm. You have to have seen it enough times at the speed that you can guess where the release point is and guess the trajectory from the hand. But pitchers also throw junk. I'm at the store now, so I'm not driving anymore. Pitchers also throw junk. And so it could be the exact same throw, but they held it a little bit differently. So all of a sudden you've got a knuckleball coming, and you have to change for the speed. You have to change for the trajectory. You have to change if it was thrown at this angle or at this angle in terms of submarine pitchers. Computers just can't handle that. They can't handle estimating and rejudging as it comes closer, thinking, okay, here's my new estimate, here's my new estimate, here's my new estimate, here's my new estimate, bang, got it. Computers will probably eventually be able to do it, but that's our specialty. We're really good at estimating. We're really good at saying, you know, I may not know exactly what thoughts are going through their brain right now, but I can tell you they're probably not happy with me. I probably forgot Valentine's Day. So anyways, yes, computers our artificial intelligence, there's a lot of moral issues there. There's a lot of things that we could be worried about, and rightfully so. But for the most part, just because you have computers that are more intelligent than you, that doesn't mean that they're more intelligent than you in every area. We still have the things that are good with us, and like my stick shift here, ultimately, some of the thrill is working side by side with a machine. Everyone I know who drives a stick shift, there's a sort of romance driving something that you don't just press the gas, you control when it changes gears, you control everything about it. And it's really pleasurable to have a machine that's really built to your will as a human being. So I can't run at 90 miles an hour, but I can make this car move that fast. So ultimately, the combination of man and machine are superior. In fact, we've seen chess masters play against other chess masters who are working in tandem with computers. Yes, it was something like Deep Blue or something like that was the first computer program to beat a human chess player in like the 90s or something like that. Ocean Blue, something like that. And that's great and all, but in terms of it can't beat them every time. Yes, computers are really good, but the absolute most superior thing is a human-computer combo. So that same sort of a thing, if a human is making the decisions against a computer, and that human is using another computer as sort of an advisor, they're still superior. So just something to think about where artificial intelligence has its place in the world. If you do like working with machines, if you think they have a place in our lives, if you're maybe like, oh no, Elon Musk, you think that maybe someday we'll have implants to take care of the fact, you know, I might not be able to multiply that, but if I put a small chip in my brain, I absolutely can multiply that way. I absolutely can put a little tiny hard drive in here that makes me go from 1 petabyte worth of memory, that's an upper limit, to, you know, 100 petabytes of memory. That could totally be possible in 200 years. So anyways, a lot of potentials for artificial intelligence, for machines, robots, what places they have in our day-to-day lives. I just wanted to do a video, thought it would be fun to talk about. So this is kind of a format I might do more in the car, but when I was talking about vlogs, yeah, I might do some vlogs where I'm going to the store, I talk about something, I don't know. But for the most part, it's still gonna be this kind of a format. I told you it's still gonna be really science-y, minus my stories that I tell you every once in a while, like from Disney, like from rescuing someone when I was on a Sea-Doo. That's a video I want to do outside of the Disney vlogs. But a lot of these videos are still going to happen. I love science, this is what I talk about. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you like the direction the channel's heading. And very, very soon I'll be launching the Scholastic Gentleman and probably a channel called Smarter Faster, where if you've seen all of the short Myers-Briggs videos I've been doing the last couple of days, those sorts of videos would be put in there, where it's just little 1 to 2 minute videos where you get tidbits of information and you get them really quickly. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. 15 minutes on the dot. Thanks for watching and have a great day.